Welcome back to the channel, guys. In today's video I've got some really fun and exciting stuff. We're going to be continuing on with backyard birding affordably in 2023. So let's get to the video. Guys, I'm here to tell you I'm really excited about this because we're going to break this down. I've showed you in last week's video that we built a bird blind back in the back of our property. I know that's not feasible for everybody, but what we're going to be doing today in today's video, we're going to go over 4 options, and it's going to start out extremely cheap all the way up to a couple of, maybe one's $100 and one's $200, but it's things you can use to get yourself closer to the birds without having to buy a new lens. I'd love to have one of those big lenses that's designed for wildlife photography and birding. I just don't have the money in the budget. So what I've decided to do is use some of the gear that I've already have. And I did purchase a couple other things, and the other things let's get to now. So for starters, probably the easiest and most affordable, cheapest way to get up close to your birds, especially your small birds, is going to be a simple canvas camouflage. Basically, it's a cheap burlap sack type wrap that you can just throw over yourself. Now, one of the benefits about this one in particular is even with it over my head right now, I can still see through it. So that is pretty awesome, considering you'd be able to see birds that are coming in from above or whatever else. And it's probably the cheapest, most affordable way. This one is it looks like it's maybe 4 foot tall and roughly 8 foot long. So you can actually cover, and what I've used just a regular lawn chair out in the back. I did use some dead limbs, and I'll show you some pictures of that to kind of help camouflage the tripod. But that's really, really cheap, and you can get really, really close. I have also noticed that when I've been using this, the little birds are sometimes very curious, and I've had them as so close that my lens wouldn't even focus. So that makes it kind of fun. As well. And that's going to be option number 1. Option number 2 is a little more expensive, and it is from Amazon, just a cheap ghillie suit. And guys, I'm telling you, this thing's absolutely fun if you've never had one. This little kit, and I'll put a link down below to Amazon if you're curious as to which one we got. But it comes with a wrap also, so that you can wrap your zoom lens up and your camera up, and when you're holding it up, everything's camouflaged. Again, this is a little more expensive than the burlap sack, but it's a great option, and this is a great mobile option as well. So if you need to get up and move, you can do it quietly, discreetly, and there's a good chance that people will never even see you, much less the birds. The birds that are watching the little bit of movement are probably going to be curious and may even come in for a closer shot anyway. So it's actually kind of a fun tool. We're going to go outside real quick, and I'm going to show you 2 different blinds. These are designed for hunting, and they will work for photography. And the only difference between the 2 is one of them has basically a see-through mesh on 2 full sides. And the great thing about that one is if you have your ground birds coming in, you'll actually see them. Whereas the other one, it's just kind of got a window. And again, it's made for hunting, and you can see through the window, but you can't see all the way to the ground. And in a perfect world, I'd really think it'd be awesome if you had one with kind of a see-through top so you could see them flying in. Again, these aren't made for duck hunters or what, they're made for people that are just hunting is what they're for. But I'll show you both of them real quick. Again, the one thing that I like about the first one I'm going to show you, it's cheaper. It's like $100, and I'll show you the outside of it as well so that you can see from the outside it still looks camouflaged. From the inside looking out, you can see through a lot of that mesh, and it makes it easier to actually see. And the other great thing about both of these that I'm going to be showing you is there's enough room for 2 people. So if you're doing this with your significant other, your wife, your spouse, or whatever, You've got plenty of room in here to have even a nice chest, a dog. Buster and King have both sat out there with me many a days while I'm trying to get photos for you guys, for the videos, and for our Facebook group, Inspired by You. The other thing I'm going to say, the other one with the see-through from the top to bottom, it's kind of pricey, guys. I'll put a link down below if you're interested. It's Amazon, and I want to say it was about almost twice as high as the first one. The first one's around $100, and if we're going to gauge these, the burlap sack was like 25 bucks. This ghillie suit that I've got on is like 75 bucks. The one blind, which is good for 2 people, it's $100, and then the more what I'm going to call the cloak, because it's more like a cloak from top to bottom on 2 sides, and I think that's even in their name. That blind is closer to 200 bucks, guys, and I know it's getting kind of expensive, but the burlap sack works great. This thing works great. If you know 2 of you are going, it might be just as cheap to buy a blind, especially like the $100 blind, because there's plenty of room for both of you. You don't have to buy 2 ghillie suits. You could easily get 2 canvas deals and wrap both of you up and be cheaper than the blind. But by the time you buy 2 of them, you're close to the cost of the blind. Now you can keep your cooler, your lawn chairs, and everything, and they're all in a nice camouflaged pattern, if you will. Again, guys, we appreciate your likes, comments, and subscribes. Be sure, if you haven't subscribed, to check out Thursday's video. Thursday, this past week, I went to Caddo Lake with a phenomenal photographer and guide. His name's Robert Miller Photography. He's out of East Texas. We're going to be doing a video short on that this week, and it'll post Thursday. I'm going to be showing you some images from Caddo Lake. We did do some bird photography while we was there, but most of the trip was more around scenery and scenic stuff. I'm excited to show you guys that Thursday. Again, we appreciate your likes, comments, and subscribes, and until next week's video, be sure to check out one of our playlists. Again, we appreciate each and every one of you, and let's go shoot some stuff.